Welcome back to more Persona 1. So last time we got started with our adventure and so we played the Persona game and then we got knocked out by some lightning. We talked to this dude named Philemon in our dreams. He gave us the power of Persona, but we haven't really had an opportunity to make use of it yet because there hasn't been anything bad going on. And our lovely teacher Misako said that we needed to go to the hospital to have a checkup just in case something weird happened while we were knocked out. So we're gonna do just that. So last time I was complaining that there was no save point, but you can use this. This is basically like a quick save. So you can use the save once and only once. This is good because, yeah, this is a handheld game and sometimes these dungeons can be very long, so it's a good thing that they had that. You can also go over the other things. There's fast measure speed. It was on normal before and I want to test it. Let's test it on this NPC. Yeah, it basically just completely scrolls fast. Just in case that causes me to skip text by accident, I'll put it back to normal. Then we have upward movement orientation. I'm not so sure what that means. Minimap bearings, synchronize or absolute. I'll have it synchronized, I think that's better. Battle cursor memory on, yeah, why not? And then battle command confirmation, yeah. Do I want that actually? Yeah, just in case. But yeah, we have other options too. We have skills, but we can't do anything with that. We have items, can't really do anything with that. We have equipment. We can see what we have equipped. And you see here, Mark and Yukino actually have weapons on them. We can look at our persona, but we don't have one. We can look at our status. And our stats as well. I'll be going into more detail about that in a bit. And then we have battle, which actually allows us to set our formation. I'm gonna do that later as well. Because yeah, as you expect, some stuff is about to go down. Anyway, so I did explore this place off screen a little bit to try and look for a save point. So yeah, we might be missing out some dialogue, but that's okay. It's probably nothing too major. Yeah, there's the exclamation room. Hey, you have to wait your turn just like everyone else. Now please leave. So yeah, we can't do anything though. Door is locked. Door is locked. Door is locked. Door is locked. And door is locked. Doesn't even use it, but it's the IC. You need such mission to enter. I actually have no idea what that is. I will admit that, yeah, I'm not like super familiar with the real world. Actually, that was a room I didn't check out. Alright, this is the... okay. There's the... yeah, what am I trying to say? Okay, basically there's rooms like this, but they're on the second and third floor apparently. So yeah, let's see. Hiroshi seems to be his grandson. He mistakes me for his daughter too. Look, Akiko, Hiroshi can visit. That's right, Hiroshi's here. Thanks for coming all this way, Hiroshi. Yeah, that's just done. Now you listening to Hiroshi, a man's soul is a complex thing. The things a person shows to the outside world isn't necessarily what he thinks. You have to dig deep to find out the truth that they're hiding. Interesting. What does our payment is this thing? Must be rougher than us. Man, what's with him calling you Hiroshi? Does that old man really believe such, or is he toying with us? I don't know. He is an old person, so maybe he's just, you know. But anyway, we can actually go in this room, and again, we can't really do much. Aren't you Maki Salnora's friends? You visited her last week too, didn't you? And the week before. Is that so? You're not expecting nice to I see. Leave him alone, Nanjo. But yeah, as you can tell, Mark cares a lot for Maki. Okay, we have another ICU. Maki's on the third floor. Room 302 is what they told us. So that'll be the room we check out last. Here's another This is a lobby apparently. Another old man. There's a girl in this floor who looked like she was in high school, but sometimes I hear a little girl's voice from her room. There's only one bed. Does she have a sister or something like that? There's a good call coming here. I'm sure Maki will be glad to see us. That'd be nice. Maki's room's the second one straight down from her. There aren't many at this hostel whom Maki could converse with. Small wonder she doesn't feel like leaving her room if that's the case. Okay, so this should be her room, I think. Actually, I don't know. I'm gonna check these rooms last time. Here's a nurse's center. Come on, Maki's way. Oh, damn. You think I brought flowers or something? Well, too late now. Why is Maki's mother working at that company of all places? Hey, Maki's friends, I'm glad you came. You know, she's been in and out of the hostel since she was a child, right? I always worried about her keeping up her friendships. I can hardly believe it. Her only door is in the hostel and she hasn't visited even once. I don't care how big she is at spec, she's a failure as a mother. Poor Maki. I think something important to note too, this isn't the UK. Healthcare isn't free, so she's probably working to help Maki in the hospital. But yeah, that's this should be Maki's room now. And looks like it is. And here we are. This is room 302. I have to go, but you should get some fresh air sometimes, it's good for you. That's right, Maki, why don't we go for a walk tomorrow? So here's bedridden girl, aka Maki Sonomura, a chronically ill classmate who's been hospitalized for over a year now. Oh, it seems her real medication's arrived. I'll leave you kids be. And let's talk to her. Now, something interesting that I noticed, because I read the manga, was that actually I thought that Maki's face there, she is like looking in pain, but I feel like after reading the manga, it seems like she's trying to put on a brave face. So I guess that's something interesting from me reading manga. But Rohan, you all came, thanks. You're so thoughtful, Misao. What do you mean? I told Misao I wanted to see everyone when he was here last time. Isn't that why you all came? Yes, it is. Oh, and Yuka said she'll come by to return the book she borrowed. Gate to Paradise, I think it was. Oh, that's okay. I've read it so many times I practically have it memorized. Alright, I'll tell her next time I see her. See you. So how you been? You doing okay? Uh-huh, I'm doing much better. I wonder if it's because of that good dream. It's hard to remember, but I keep dreaming of a really nice man. He's like a father. Like that doctor? He seemed nice. I don't like him. Did he do something to you? No, that's not it. I just don't like doctors. Well, let's talk about other stuff then. Hey, how about your mom? How's she doing at spec? She's not my mom. She cares more about her job than me. She doesn't care about me at all. Sorry. No, it's alright. Well, that happened. No! This is not the musical intro, it's the first for the one. Maki, what's wrong? Hey! This isn't good, call doctor.
I do hope it's nothing serious.
Damn it.
An earthquake?
Whoa, it's a big one!
The hell? Hold on!
It seems to have subsided.
Maki! Whoa! What the hell? Where'd the room go?
What? How was that? No, I was positive that was the ICU a moment ago. Huh? That scream! It came from downstairs! Let's go!
Yep, this happened. So, interesting thing about that cutscene, and I think all of them too, in the Japanese version, they aren't voiced at all. They actually just have subtitles. So the voice acting is in the English version. I think the reason why it was like that in the Japanese version was because it's more in line with how the actual dialogue is. But anyway, fresh meat is here. What's with these guys? The dead patient suddenly got up and walked. That old man rescued me and... No! What? These guys are dead? Is this for real? Yamaoka. Yamaoka. You dastards. How dare you? And here's our first round. I never forgive you, dastards. Careful, guys. How the hell are we supposed to fight something that's already dead? That's how. Thou art I, and I am thou. From the sea of thy soul I cometh. I shall lend you my strength. So my persona reached rank 2. And Mark's persona reached rank 2. So yeah, you can see what this is about. Then Yukino's persona reached rank 2. And finally, Nanjo's persona reached rank 2. So that's our first battle, an Awakening battle. And we get experience. Now, interestingly enough, all Awakening battles, they give full level ups for both your level and persona level. I guess you could mention that too. So, your level is your actual level, and then persona level is it determines the level of the personas that you can equip. So, if you're level 6, you'll be able to equip any persona that's below level 6 or lower. And your level ups help your stats, and persona level allows you to equip high personas. That's basically how it works. So anyway, the protagonist is able to get stats. They're able to allocate the stats in 3 points for each level up. So anyway, I guess I can go do a quick overview of the stats. Strength affects your damage and physical attacks, although it's not really showing that, wasn't it? But yeah, if you want to be really good with your weapons, your physical weapons, this is the stat you want. Then we got Vitality, which as you see there, it boosts your defense. But I believe it also boosts your HP a bit as well. Dex is an important stat. As you see here, it increases your weapon hit, also the attack power of your weapon, and your accuracy. Dex is like basically the most important stat, because yeah, most of the time in this game, you're going to be attacking with your persona's magic attack, and Dex actually helps with that too. Dex helps with a lot of stats in fact, so it's recommended to raise it a lot, but also Agility. Agility increases, it's not showing that, but it's good for your evasion. It's also good for your defense as well, and your accuracy, kinda like Dex. But importantly too, it determines your turn order. Kinda like Earthbound actually. The higher speed you have, the higher chance you have of going first in battle. And then finally you have Luck. This boosts a number of stats, subtly. But one thing I have noticed it does is that, this is a hypothesis, but if an attack has multiple hits, you're more likely to get more hits, and I believe even more crits too, if you have a higher luck stat. So how I'm going to build Rohan is I'm going to go Dex and go Agility for a little bit. Everyone else levels up on their own, so no need to worry about that. So Nanjo's level 6, Mark is level 6, and Yukino's level 6. But also this. Yamaoka, don't go. You won't leave me behind, right? Right, Yamaoka? Oh, young master, don't be so sad. It spoils your handsome face. You're a fine Japanese man, and a man must stand on his own someday. It seems that this will be the last service I can provide for you. No, I won't let you leave me. Hang in there, Yamaoka. It's time I said farewell. Just one last thing. Please promise me, young master. Promise to become the #1 man in the country and carry Japan on your back. Of course I will. When the time comes, you'll see. So until then, That's my young master. I'll always be in your heart. Yamaoka. Hey, answer me. I'm begging you. Yamaoka. Nanjo. Let him alone. Hey, right. You could hear the voices. That thing said it was me. I heard it too. Think it was that persona thing? It said it would lend us a power, so I kinda doubt it's hostile. If we're lucky, maybe it'll listen to what we tell it. I guess we might as well go on calling it persona. That's how it felt to me too. I have a bad feeling about this, let's go. So anyway, let's talk to our pals. I don't think he was gonna cry. He must have really loved that old guy. Indeed. Nanjo seemed like a little boy in front of the old guy. Failing to protect the ones you love. Nothing hurts worse than that. Yeah. He's already gone. Yamaoka, what should I do? Without you, I'm all alone. No one is here to encourage me. No one will stand by me. So anyway, let's go over some other things about personas. Let's look at the details. So, interesting enough about this game is that the persona itself actually determines the SP cost for your attacks. So, same in Congo here, all of its skills are going to cost 4 SP no matter what. And yeah, personas also have their own stats, and what they do is they basically add on to your actual stats. Onto your stats to make the actual stats. So, let's say if I go into Rohan's stats. You see the orange bars that are coming out of my stats? Those are coming from the persona. So, yeah, there's that. So anyway, I believe you got some equipment too. Let me double check. I think I just got a helmet from that battle. Yeah, but yeah, might as well equip it. So anyway, now I've done over all those basic things, what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to be going over the starting personas, and also the characters as well, because yeah, like I said, I'm going to do some bios. So yeah, what's going to happen, I guess I could mention how I'm going to build these. Basically, after I record this, I'm going to go into editing, and then I'm going to commentate the bios there, and then I'm also going to slot them into the video as well while I'm editing as well. So yeah, that's how it's going to work. So yeah, basically I'm going to take a small break here, and then you're going to look at the bios, and then we're going to come back here. I'm not so sure how much more episode there'll be after this. I suspect that I'm going to be a little while with the bios, so if the episodes, if I end the episode after the bios, that might be why. So let's go over the 4 starting personas for all the characters, and also I'll be talking about the characters themselves a little bit too, so yeah, look forward to that. So, time for the bios to start now. So, I'm gonna go over what I'm going to be talking about first. So, I'm gonna talk about the character themselves, who they're voiced by, what weapons they use, their arcana, and what that symbolizes, as well as the properties of that arcana. General arcana 30s, they are in the bottom left of the screen there. And then finally, the persona themselves, talking about their mythology, as well as what they're like about. That's in the middle of the screen. So, shall we get started then? So, our protagonist of this game can be named anything you want. He has an official name, that is Boy with Earring, which is in Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. But yeah, that's not really a name, so most people like to name him Naoya Todo, which is what he's called in the manga. So anyway, Naoya is voiced by Grant George in this game. He also voices Shinjiro and Shin in Persona 3, as well as Clive and Echoes, and then Sigurd and Heroes, so pretty cool. I do like to go the voice acting trivia because it's something that me and my friends like to talk about, so. And I did learn some pretty interesting things about the voice actors in this game, so. Anyway, so Naoya uses one-handed swords, which are pretty good in my opinion. Some of them can hit multiple times, and the power is not too bad, especially if you invest in strength or you have an Emperor persona equipped. Then the other one, which I really like, the submachine gun. So, we haven't encountered this yet, but characters get a secondary weapon, and that secondary weapon is a gun. Different types of guns as well. So in Naoya's case, he gets submachine guns. These hit a lot of times, and the damage is pretty good too, especially if you decide to invest in your dex, because your dex actually helps your gun damage more than your strength, which kind of caught me off guard on my first playthrough. So yeah, once again, dex is a really important stat to raise in this game. I should have also mentioned this first too, but the music in these bios, they're going to be the character themes for the characters in the PS1 version. Most of those were erased in the PSP version, but for now I decided to just use the Awakening theme because yeah, it's a really cool one. Again, it was axed in the PSP version, so because yeah, I don't think he really has a character theme that I could think of, so yeah, that's what I went with. So yeah, let's talk about his Arcana, the Emperor. So actually, before we do that, I think I'll go over the general Arcana for these. So what's important is what they can't equip, oddly enough, because yeah, there's there's 4 different types of Arcana affinity. Best, good, which I actually don't have listed, and that's maybe because there's for most characters, they can equip mostly Arcana, and they'll be good affinity. So yeah, that's why I don't have it equipped, or on the screen. But what's more important is what they're bad with and what they're worse with, because let's go over what these affinities do. So best means that you can use the persona just fine, and also you'll be able to use the hidden power of the persona. These hidden powers are interesting to say the least. They'll trigger when the user is low on health, and when there's a specific moon phase in play, and only when you also have a rank 6 of the persona as well. So what can happen is that you get healed. You get healed again, but this time you can also heal status and SP. You can nullify an attack. You can get revived, but you reset the rank of the persona that happens, and you can't really do anything about that. And then apparently you can also inflict 999 points of non-elemental unblockable damage to all enemies, but this only happens in specific personas. All of them late game ones, it seems. So yeah, basically do not rely on these, and also don't factor in to them if you want to cut the persona. That's why best and good, there's really no difference, because good, you can still use the persona just fine, it's just that you don't get the hidden powers. And yeah, funnily enough, I never seen any of these hidden powers proc in my 2 playthroughs of this game. I've heard about the revival power proccing with one of my friends, but yeah, that's it. So yeah. So functionally speaking, there's basically no difference between best and good in this game, which is kind of a shame, but yeah, it is what it is. So anyway, good, I already mentioned. Bad means that you can equip the persona, but you can't use any skills, so you're basically only using it for the stats. So in Naoya's case, he can't equip Hierophant and Death. And then finally, worst means you can't equip the persona at all, and that's Star for Naoya. But here's the thing, that might make it seem that Naoya can, that makes you think that Naoya can only not equip one type of persona, but these are general Arcana affinities, because some personas break the rules a little bit. Like the Stein personas actually. The Stein personas can only be equipped by the person that they are tied to. And then there's other examples too, like the Chinese Celestial Beasts. They have best affinity no matter what the character is. So yeah, like I said, these are just general Arcana affinities, so you may want to look around. You want to pay attention to the personas affinity when you're like fusing them and stuff, because it may be different. So yeah, just look out for that. But yeah, I just thought it would be interesting to show off the general Arcana affinities in these bios. Yeah, that's what I did. So now let's talk about the Arcana that Naoya represents. That'll be the Emperor Arcana, not the full Arcana. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention what he's bested actually. Full, Emperor, Strength, Fortune, Moon, and World. Interesting enough, Full and Fortune are good at everyone, so I probably don't need to mention that in the other bios, but I will anyway, because why not? So anyway, he's actually not of the Full Arcana. The Full Arcana is kind of a special Arcana in this game, which I'll mention later. He's the Emperor Arcana, which symbolizes authority, regulation, and organization, which is the protagonist since they are the leader of the party, and they make some of the crucial decisions in the plot. So gameplay-wise, Emperor Personas are generally leaders or kings in the mythologies, and they are equivalent to the deity race demons. So what that means basically is that these Arcanas, basically they either replace or they are equivalent to a demon race they see in a normal SMP game. Because something weird about this game that no other Persona game does is that this game has not only Arcanas, but also the demon races too. And they meld together with the fusion system, which I'll talk about later. But anyway, so the deity demon race is actually used for some late game bosses, so that's kind of interesting. But anyway, so Emperor Personas specialize in high strength, elemental damage. What that means is, you see the type next to the Arcana for Sim and Congo there. That basically means that, so basically what element means is, there's basically two tiers of magic basically in this game. Element will be fire, wind, earth, and ice. And then the other one's called force. Force is gravity, electric, blast, which is Zan skills in this game. Yeah, this game has both Garu skills and Zan skills. Confusing a little bit, but yeah. And then nuclear skills. And then there's also light and dark, but they don't factor into element and force. So yeah. And one general tip for this game is that if an enemy uses element-based magic, they're going to be weak to force magic, so keep that in mind. They're also going to say Personas too, so be careful. So like I said, Emperor Personas specialize in high strength, elemental damage, some physical skills, like at rank 8 here for Sim Congo, you get Spin Kick. Most of them get a physical skill. Some status aiming skills. As you see here, Sim Congo actually gets a lot of those. Delite at rank 3, Makajam at rank 4, and Plimpa at rank 5. So yeah, Emperors do like using status elements a lot, and yeah, he's not the only one. And then finally, the generate force damage, which you can see there. He's weak to all types of force damage, but they mostly resist what they are good for as well. So like, Sim Congo's resistant to some element attacks. I believe he also reflects wind too. So yeah, that's what Emperor Personas are like. So now let's go over Sim Congo himself. So he's from Hindu and Buddhist myth. He's described as a Rakshasa in Hindu myth, which I explained in the demonic design, and that relates to his past in Buddhist myth, where he used to cause diseases, but now protects from those diseases. Interesting enough too, Rakshasas were created from Brahma's foot, and the king of them is very important in the epic the Mahabharata, which is who is called Ravana, by the way. Anyway, so back to what we're talking about. So Sim Congo is a protected deity in Japanese Buddhist myth, which is one of the aspects of the Emperor Arcana as we talked about. His official art is pretty cool. It shows him with the 3 wise monkeys that represent see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil, because they are used in New Year's ceremony for the cult of Koshin, with Sim Congo being a deity for the Koshin. So, pretty interesting backstory for the very first Persona. So, Sim Congo is actually decent early rank, or early on in the game. Garu's not bad for dealing with regular enemies, but at rank 7 you'll also get Magaru. Magaru is really good for clearing out random encounters really quick, as long as they don't reflect wind-based attacks or absorb them. And also the first boss has you find 5 enemies, so having an attack that hits all of them is very, very useful. ranking up personas is important too, so you're going to be using persona skills a lot, so make sure you do that. Don't worry too much about SP cost. In this game, yeah, you're going to run out of SP a decent amount, but you can always buy SP healing items, because money isn't too bad in this game, because you will be fighting a lot, and for spell cards probably, if you want to make really good personas, so money shouldn't be too much of an issue, unless you're underleveled. So anyway, at rank 8 a persona will max out. This means that they'll fight at their fullest, with all their skills and also the stats at the highest levels. But also, you can return them for an item. Most of the starting personas return for an incense. In Same Kongo's case, that'll be a strength incense, which raises your strength as you would expect. So yeah. So that's Naoya and that's Same Kongo. Pretty interesting starting persona, and yeah, Naoya's a pretty strong character because they can be built how the player wants, so that really helps. So, nothing else really to say there. Let's go on to the next character. So now it's time for Masao, Mark, Inaba. So something I should have mentioned in the last bio is that in Revelations of Persona, basically most of the cast got either a name change or a design change or both. Both happens most of the time, but anyway. The protagonist didn't mention him, but they basically gave him red hair and much lighter skin and a very different facial expression. They also took off the earring as well. The earring will be interesting to talk about later, I just realized, but anyway. So, Mark is one of the most infamous, so he's still called Mark in Revelations Persona, but they changed him to an African American. He even speaks like one too. They gave him a different hat, and then of course, to match with that ethnicity change, he is also black. So, very interesting change, but it's a pretty cool one too. Because during that time, gender diverse, or ethnicity diversity wasn't really a thing in RPGs during that time, so that was pretty cool. That's one reason why people really like Barrett in Final Fantasy VII, for example. So anyway, enough of that weird localization, but really interesting by the way. Marcus in this game is voiced by Sam Riegel. He also voices Teddy in Persona 4 Golden, as well as Stahl and Donald in Awakening, and then Ray as well in Heroes. I'm only mentioning games that I'm familiar with, so yeah. Because yeah, a lot of these voice actors have voiced in a lot of things, like other games and anime, so yeah. But hey, I would like to hear about some other roles that you like for these voice actors. I thought it'd be interesting. But anyway, so Mark is interesting in terms of weapons. He uses axes. They only really hit once, but they hit really hard. And also, getting the best axe in the game is actually pretty easy. You get the second strongest axe pretty early in the game for maxing out a level 22 persona. So yeah, Mark's gonna be doing a lot of damage with his physical weapon. Unfortunately, his other weapon isn't as good. The shotgun. They only hit once. They hit in area for all enemies, which I guess is cool, but they lack power and range. They can sometimes help Mark reach enemies that he wouldn't be able to otherwise with the axe, but yeah, generally you're going to be using the axe and persona skills. The gun isn't really that great, unfortunately, which is a shame. I kind of like shotguns in some FPS games, but anyway. So Mark is best with the Fool, Chariot, Strength, Fortune, Moon, and World Arcanas. He's bad with Justice and Death, and he's worse with Star. And yeah, like I said before, best and good basically just means the same thing. The only things that really matter is bad and worst, because yeah, you want to be able to use the persona so you can level them up, and if you can't equip the persona, then yeah, what's the point? But anyway, so Mark's Arcana is the Chariot. Chariot represents success, ambition, determination, control, and focus. And this could fit with Mark's determination to save Maki at all costs and stop anyone who gets in the way of that. Gameplay wise, Chariot personas are generally deities with awesome power, with some of them using their power to interact with humans. Interesting enough, they're equivalent to the Fury Demon race. There aren't any Fury Demons in this game, so yeah, basically the Chariot Arcana takes the place of that. So they specialize in high strength, strong force damage, so like in Ogun's case, he focuses on gravity, some physical skills as well, and being generally weak to elemental damage, but they hit really hard with force damage, so yeah, Mark's gonna be quite the powerhouse with his chariot personas. Because yeah, some of these do a lot of damage and get some really good skills, so yeah, I do like the chariot arcana quite a bit in this game. So, the initial persona for Mark is Ogun from African myth. More specifically, they are a god from the Yoruba people from Nigeria. They are the god of iron, and they use an iron axe to chop some trees to make space for humans to live. This relates to the axe skills he learns, as well as matching Mark's weapon of choice. He is described as fierce and abundance of energy, which kind of fits Mark's personality as well. Because yeah, Mark is quite full of energy, so... But yeah, when it comes down to it, he's gonna be there to take on the enemies for us. And do a very fierce job of it. But anyway, Ogun has kind of a rough start. Because he only has physical skills, but once we get to rank 4, things change and he gets greed, which isn't bad actually. It does quite a lot of damage. And it's pretty useful. And it does make Mark a lot more reliable in terms of doing damage. Rank 7 is also important because as you see there, you get Maki, which hits every enemy. So again, that's good for the first boss and also large groups of enemies in general. So yeah, overall, decent slime persona. A little bit hard to get off the ground because it only starts with some physical skills. And there are a decent amount of enemies that resist those. But once you get greedy, things become a lot better for Mark. So yeah. And once at max rank, Ogun returns to a HP instant, such as you expect, that raises your HP. So, that's that. On to the next character. Now we're going to be talking about Yukino Mayuzumi. She is shortened to just Yuki in Revelation Zone, and her design is practically unaltered. There's a very good reason for that, which yeah, I'm going to be talking about. Yukino is definitely the character I'm the least experienced with her, so we're gonna try my best. Anyway, so she's voiced by Kirsten Potter, who also voiced Takemi in the original Persona 5, but she was unable to reprise her role in Full Royal, so Abby Trott voices her instead. She's also Yukino in Persona 2 Innocent Sin, because yeah, she makes an appearance in that game. I believe she also voices her personas as well. Interesting enough, from my research, it seems likely that all the female party members were voiced by Michelle Raymond in the original Revelations Persona. But yeah, I couldn't find any information about her, so yeah. Anyway, so Yukino's weapon of choice is throwing knives. Or throwing weapons in general actually, it's not just knives. They seem decent, they have good range, and they seem to hit from quite a distance too. And then some of them also can hit multiple times too, and quite a few times as well, so yeah, it seems like a really solid physical weapon. Then she also gets shotguns like Mark does. Again, they're not super great, but they might be able to, especially for Yukino I feel like, because yeah, her weapon does a good enough job reaching a lot of enemies anyway, so yeah, I feel like the shotgun's not going to help her that much, so you may be able to get away with not even using it at all. Unless, yeah, the enemy, sometimes there might be an enemy that gets hit by the gun, but not with the knife, so yeah. So yeah, let's go on to the important thing first about Yukino. She is only playable in the Snow Queen quest, so you're not getting her as Sebek at all. She's the only character in the game that's like this, so yeah, I'm not very familiar with her because of that, but I do mention more about that later, so yeah, I just wanted to get that out there now. But yeah, I would like to learn more about her when I eventually do that one day. But anyway, so her general arcana affinities, she's blessed with Full, Empress, Lovers, Strength, Hermit, Fortune, Temperance, Star, and Sun. She's bad with Priestess, Hanged Man, and Tower, and she's worse than Moon. And yeah, there's some gender differences with some of these arcana favor male, while others favor females. Like for example, the Moon, the dudes are good with Moon, but not the females. Or not the girls, I should be saying. And then Star's the opposite of that, for example. But anyway, Yukino's arcana is the Empress, which represents divine, feminine, nurturing, creativity, and beauty, which fits with Yukino being considered a mother figure of sorts by her friends, although she does contrast with the femininity due to her past as a delinquent. I believe she's known as a Yankee. I'm not 100% sure about how that's pronounced, but yeah, basically they're just delinquents, from what I can tell. And also she has a tomboyish appearance with her shorter hair. Anyway, gameplay-wise, Empress personas are goddesses focused on feminine traits and fertility, and they are equivalent to the Lady Demon race, which, yeah, there aren't any Lady Demons in this game, so yeah, this arcana takes the place of that. But due to their focus on force damage and being weak to elemental damage, they could be considered similar to the Fem Demon race. They not only that, but they also focus on having good stats in everything but agility, especially with luck, and they may also have single target healing, physical skills, and a large variety of magic skills in most cases too, which can be seen with Yukino's first persona, Vesta, from Greco-Roman mythology. She's the virgin goddess of hearth, chastity, home, family, and sexuality in Roman myth. Her Greek counterpart is Hestia. She chose not to marry and instead give herself for others, which could be related to Yukino looking out for her fellow students. She is associated with fire, which fits with learning Crimson Sublation at rank 7, and also the nuclear skills with Frey and Freya. Interesting to note about her design too is that she has like this wispy bottom of her, which could highlight that she's a spirit, which Vesta was described as a spirit in her mythology. So yeah, that's another interesting thing. So the image I put in the bio is actually from the manga. The reason for that is because Vesta got a redesign of Persona 2, which looks completely different. So I decided to just use the image from the manga. So yeah, if you're wondering about that. But anyway, so gameplay wise, she seems decent. She's got a good selection of offensive skills, although nothing that hits every enemy. The best you're gonna get is Crimson Sublation, which hits in a fairly large area, but it's not gonna always hit all enemies, so keep that in mind. She can back up heal at rank 3 thanks to Dia, which is pretty cool. And yeah, Frey, Zio, and Freya are not bad. The thing about this persona though, is that the smoking quest is difficult, so you may want to grind before you start it to help yourself out, which means that you're probably going to be replacing Vesta with a stronger persona, or even the next Empress persona, which I believe is Makush. But anyway, because yeah, that'll give you a good head start on the smoking quest, because yeah, like I said, it is the more difficult route, and any help you can get is appreciated, so yeah. Interestingly enough, she returns for a Soma, and not an Incense, which is kind of weird. That's just a full heal on one ally, I do believe. So yeah. And yeah, we do get to use Yukino a little bit, but yeah, she's basically just a guest character in Sebek. She's gonna join us for a little bit, and then she's gonna leave. Because yeah, like I said, if you want to use her the whole time, you need to play the smoking quest. And yeah, that's really it. So, on to the next character. Our final character for today is going to be Nanjo. He's known as Nate Trinity in Revelations Persona, and they changed his design to have orange, blonde looking hair and paler skin. So, he is voiced by Troy Baker. This is actually kind of a surprise to me because he doesn't sound like what I associate Troy Baker with, which is kind of interesting. But then again, Troy Baker's a really talented voice actor, so he voices many characters in many different games, anime, and stuff like that. So, for the characters from the series I'm familiar with, he also voices Akichi in Persona 2 and Sin. He voices Kanji in Persona 4, and then also Oliver in Trails in the Sky. And yeah, there's tons of really interesting roles this person has had, so yeah. Anyway, so Nanjo uses two-handed swords. These are quite different. They can hit in area, I do believe, so multiple enemies might be taking damage from them. They're solid. Some of them hit multiple times too, which I do like. Because yeah, that damage can add up a lot, especially if you have a good strength start. So yeah, like I said, they're solid, and it's not too hard to get some really good ones. Like for example, I believe there's like around a level 16 persona that returns for a pretty good sword for Nanjo, so you probably want to do something with that. I can't remember the exact levels, so yeah, but I will be showing that persona off. Anyway, the other weapon of choice is the rifle. A gun, of course. They're also solid. Good range, they're able to hit most enemies. No matter, as long as Nanjo is positioned somewhat near the front, and some of these can also hit multiple times too. They're not as good as the machine guns in my opinion, but they'll get the job done. So, Nanjo is good with full, or best with full, Hierophant, Strength, Fortune, Moon and World. He's bad with Emperor, Hangman and Death, and he's worse with Star. Pretty basic stuff. His Arcana is the Hierophant, which represents tradition, conventionality, conformity, education, knowledge, and beliefs, which fits with Nanjo being the most logical member of the group. Even if those logical methods is at the expense of people, which we'll be seeing later. Anyway, so gameplay wise, Hierophant personas are either associated with wisdom or thunder, and are equivalent to the Kishin demon race. So yeah, when I was doing research for this, I couldn't find anything super concrete, but yeah, wisdom popped up for most of the personas, most of the lower leveled Hierophant personas, and then thunder for most of the high ranked ones, which is interesting. And yeah, they're equivalent to the Kishin demon race, and they practically replaced that demon race of this game. So yeah, no enemy Kinshins in this game. But due to the focus on light-based magic and support skills, this Arcana can be considered a combination of the Brute and Beast demon races, which we'll be seeing later. But anyway, this Arcana focuses on light-based damage, most of the time through Hammer skills. These are interesting, they instantly kill Grave Race demons, but they're kind of underwhelming otherwise. They can hit some, like, Dark-based demon races decently well, but that's really it. Against regular enemies, the damage is kind of bad. For offense, they may get another form of magical coverage, a physical skill, and some support skills centered around stat boss, with a heavy focus on vitality in terms of stats. So, I find this Arcana kind of underwhelming in terms of power, but Aizen is a really interesting Hierophant persona despite that. So Aizen is from Japanese mythology. He is considered Vidyaraja, which means Great Wisdom King, which could fit with Nanjo's logical decisions he makes. Design-wise, he doesn't really look like how he's described in myth. So yeah, this one, they definitely took some of these. Interesting enough for the bio, I actually used his Persona 2 design because it doesn't look too different from his Persona 1 design, so I thought it would fit. There are definitely some big differences, like the black scarf looking thing on the front, but that's really it. And some of the colouring as well. But yeah, like I said, I thought it would fit. So, because yeah. But yeah, like I said, Aizen is definitely a lot different from this persona in mythology, but that's okay. But anyway, so this is actually a really solid starting persona for Nanjo. It does have annoying weaknesses to basically all physical attacks as you see that, as well as also machine guns as well. But he does make up for that. He starts with Hammer, which instantly kills Graves, and there's a lot of these in the early game. Because yeah, there's a lot of because yeah, you're gonna be finding Graves a pretty decent amount in the early game. So Hammer instantly kills those, and yeah, Nanjo is very useful because of that. But if they aren't around, he can have trouble doing damage. There is Fist of Fury, which could do some damage, especially against enemies that are weak to physical, but that's really it. Candy Voice could be interesting because yeah, that inflicts charm, so enemies might start attacking each other. I don't really find it super useful though, because not a lot of enemies are vulnerable to it. and there's probably better statuses to go for as well. But what I really like about Aizen is his buff capabilities. At rank 4 he gets Sukukacha, which raises hit rate and evasion. So, I mean it doesn't say it raises evasion there, but I'm pretty sure it might. But if not, raising hit rate's always nice to make sure that all your attacks land. But what I like a lot more is Makakacha at rank 7. Raises magic, so yeah, all your persona skills are going to be getting a buff, or at least the non-physical ones at least. And yeah, not many like good personas get this, so keeping Aizen around just for Makakacha might not be a bad idea. Especially because at rank 8 he also gets Eternal Light. Eternal Light is the second best light piece attack, and that's mainly because it actually hits bosses. There is the Hama skills and the Koha skills. They are both light based too, but they don't work against bosses, so that's why I much prefer Eternal Light. And Eternal Light hits in a fairly large area and the damage is pretty good. Although yeah, the problem with Hierophant personas is they lack magical power, so you might not be doing like tons of damage, but yeah, it can be annoying to just knock out very annoying demon races that are immune to everything but light, like for example Fallens and Knights for example. So yeah, like I said, could be quite useful, that Eternal Light, and yeah, it's also good offense for the first boss as well. So yeah, very very interesting first persona, even if I'm not a big fan of the Arcana, because yeah, I don't think I'm going to be fusing that many Hierophant personas. There are definitely some decent ones, but yeah, I consider it kind of an underpowered Arcana in this game, which is a shame. But yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, at least Aizen is a pretty interesting one, and yeah, that covers all the characters that we have at this current time. Alright, we're back. So let's get going, shall we? So this is Mikage Hospital. This is our first dungeon, and I should mention some things about exploring a dungeon. You have Square. Square opens your map. And luckily in the PSP version, they add a map. There was always a map in the PS1 version, but the map updates while you're walking around in the... It updates while you're walking around the PSP version, which makes things a lot easier. But this is our battle controls. So basic stuff there. So yeah, let's get started, shall we? Oh yeah, I also need to change my pie layout as well after this. So anyway, can I analyze enemies? Let's see. Yes I can actually. So yeah, here we have Mr. Zombie, funny name. It's a grave, and something you should know about graves is that they're basically weak to all magic. So basically any magic is gonna obliterate them. So do that. And then we got the nurse in the back. She's a bit stronger, but again, she's weak to magic, so... And then we got the Predator here. It's a haunt. Haunts always reflect guns, so don't ever use guns against them. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna go for Garu on the zombie. Hama is great. Like I said in the bio, it instantly kills any graves, that's good. Tackle, unfortunately, is all we got there, and I'm going for Frey on the Predator, so that's what it is. So we get rank 3, that's good. We go for Frey, kills the Predator. Possible, kind of bad, but we take it just fine. That goes down, we get rank 3, we get Flurry stuff, and then we go for Hama here, and it's gonna be instant. Oh, I missed. So I'm just gonna repeat what we just did. And there you go. So like I said, I'm gonna need to change my battle layout to make it a bit more convenient. So I got another helmet, so QQ helmet I think is what it's called. So I'll give it to Nanjo. So now let's go into battle and then do formation. So let's add this. I'm gonna put right in the middle. I always like doing that. I think I'll put Nanjo there. Mark's fine there, I think. Yeah, this is how I'll do it. And I'll have Yukino in the back. And yeah, her weapons have really good range. If I was to put her in the middle, yeah, she has some pretty decent range, but it doesn't really matter if she's in the middle. She could also stand in the back just fine, actually. Looking at that, so you know what? We should probably do that. But yeah, because of her secondary weapon, it's probably better to keep her in the front if you're actually going to be using her. No. I'm going to confirm. There we go. So that's the Sings guy. You have auto Sings. These... Okay, so basically when you go to auto battle, there's a custom one. You can set to whatever you want there. I'm going to do that later, probably. And then we can look at the enemies you pull. In Analyze. That's a pull for spell cards, so that you know what enemies you need for them. So yeah, let's just keep exploring them. And another battle. And the same as last time, so it should be easy. But this will also allow me to look at the Predator. It says it resists magic, but it's not immune to magic, so it's not gonna get destroyed. Anyway, let's do this. Should do that. We get Flurry Stab. It's not that great, but I'll have to do. Yeah, this
Here goes!
Basically, yeah, like I said in the bio, I want Mark to really get green, so he can help out a lot. Although, yeah, that did a lot of damage. It doesn't. Haunts aren't resistant against physical, so that's good. I got another helmet from that battle, so that's good. I'll go to Mark. In here, we have a room. I treat your wounds at the examination, but I can't find it. Nothing in this hostel is where I remember it. Yeah, the layout's actually changed. Damn it, why can't I get to ICU? There's a patient that I had to treat the Salmura girl. Over here we got medicine, that will help out, and the QQ helmets. So now everyone can get them. So I might as well give it to Yukino. And I'm gonna continue exploring this floor, I think. And here's a save point. You know what? This is probably a good point to end off this episode. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna save this first slot here. I don't actually know how many save spots you're allowed, but anyway. So, like I said, this is where I'll end this episode. So next time we're gonna try and find our way out of this hospital. Hopefully it won't be too bad, so I see you guys again for that.